Good Shabbos, everybody. This week, of course, we're going to read the Aseres HaDibros in Parshas Yitro. And so many millennia later, it's easy for us to forget the context in which this foundational element of our entire religion and faith tradition was given. We think about it from the content or substance perspective, the mitzvah of believing in God, of repudiating idolatry, of honoring parents, Shabbos, and of course the basic laws of civilization, not to kill, not to perform immoral acts, and not to perjure oneself, and of course to have a basic sense of respect for other people's belongings. All of these are substantive and critical issues. But sometimes it's lost on us, again, at such a far remove, historically speaking, the fact that those who stood at the foothills of Sinai, Vayisyatzu Tachte Sahar, were a recently redeemed nation of slaves, scarcely months and certainly years before, when their existence was one of pure subsistence, trying simply to survive the day. Baboker Yomar Mi Tein Erev Uve'erev Yomar Mi Tein Boker. That same group of individuals was indeed brought to the heights of the human experience, as is recorded in Sefer Dvarim, Hashama'am Kol Elokim Medaber Mitoch Ha'esh Kasher Shamata Ata Vayechi. Has any nation ever had the privilege of coming so close with the Master of the Universe? And indeed, just before the Aseres HaDibros are given, we're told, Ve'atem tihiuli mamlachas kohanim v'goy kadosh, v'yisem li segula mikol ha'amim, the special, precious nation of God, the chosen nation, as the Sforno reminds us, not chosen for our own sake, but certainly chosen to share a message of morality with the rest of the world. But all of that being said, chosen nevertheless. This radical process of transformation is something that the Gemara in Pesachim talks about in terms of the context of the mitzvah of Sipor Yitzias Mitzrayim, Maschilin Bignos Umesaimin B'Shevach. We have a narrative arc to the story. And indeed, according to one of the views in the Talmud, and this is recorded in all of the halachic sources, the Maschilin Bignos isn't just to tell the story of our bondage, but is to tell the story, of course, of our idolatrous origins. And then, Mesaimin B'Shevach, we conclude with words of praise, not just that God liberated us, but of course God elevated us. Ve'achshav kirvanu hamakom lavodaso. It's a story of nothing short of radical transformation. For so many of us, this message of radical transformation, of being elevated to the heights of human experience from the very depths of subjugation, dehumanization, and despair, is exactly what we need at this time. Scarcely could any of us have imagined the extent of the challenge that we currently find ourselves with, and indeed, it does carry on, and all of us should feel extremely proud of continuing to hold the line and practicing the kind of vigilance that indeed will keep us and our families and our entire community and perfect strangers entirely safe. And yet, what is required indeed is a great sense of resilience. We need this message of radical transformation. If a nation that could never have imagined an existence other than one of bondage of servitude could be brought to the very foothills of Sinai, could be brought to the heights of human experience, and could state, as Rashi quotes in this week's parsha, Ritzonenu lir'oses malkenu. Moshe, it's not enough for Hashem to speak with you and for us to simply overhear, but we want that direct exposure, unlike any other generation of any other people in all of human history. Indeed, if that transformation is possible, a radical transformation is not only possible, but inevitable for all of us. We don't know exactly when that time will come. Nobody does. But we have to remember, with a profound sense of historical consciousness, Zachor Yemos Olam Binu Shnos Dor Vador, that Jewish history is nothing if not the story of remarkable resilience and a fervent and unwavering, unshatterable belief that things can improve and things will improve. V'sechazena einenu, we say, our eyes are fixed on the future, indeed, that lies ahead, a future that is bright. Ra'os rabos tzaddik, David HaMelech says, the righteous suffer so many different things. Umikulam yatzilenu Hashem, and God redeems us. Indeed, this message of hope is in our very spiritual DNA. It goes back to the foundation of our people and the radical transformation from a nation of dehumanized slaves to one that was brought to the heights of human experience. May we merit this measure of radical transformation in our generation and be able to look back at this time with pride and to say that we never lost faith. A good Shabbos to everybody.